What was the question? Name something you pick. So when I say America got some bad tail children, it's more so even that America has a lot of children whose parents don't want them to be held accountable for their actions. You know what? The more I see married couples, the less I become convinced that I'm going to be a part of one again. And he looks at me and he looks at her and like he's looking around for, I guess, a sympathetic face. I'm just looking at him because this white folk business is this not my business. Good morning, sunshine. I wanted to check in with you, my accountability partner, because I really need to get at it. The time right now is 7:43. 7:43. I'm proud of that. AM, by the way. And the reason I'm proud is because so far on this Monday, July 6th, I have clocked in 12,633 steps. Of course, the goal is to hit 10,000 a day. Done it. Check that off. I am sweaty. Look at this sweat pattern. It's crazy. I was sweating all down my back. But here you can see where my weighted vest hits. In fact, you can even see a buckle mark there. Armpits also sweaty, but they wax. They is wax. I took care of that. Still haven't gotten around to the nails. I did organize them and all of that stuff, but I feel like I had just washed dishes, and the last time I put my press-ons on, I had just washed my hair. I feel like even when I rub the alcohol over them afterwards, if my nails have been that wet, they're not going to stick as well as they do, because on a good stick, I can get about a good 2.5 weeks or so out of my nails, which is why I don't like a lot of color, because the color makes it obvious. But anyway, what are we gonna do today? We're gonna do more exercise. I'm really gonna commit to it, and let me tell you why. So what was it? Saturday I get on the scale and I weigh myself. I'm so disappointed. I was like, dang, nothing at all. For all this exercise I'm doing, no, I haven't been consistent. No, I haven't been doing it every day, but I've been doing more. Shouldn't I see something for my more? And yeah, I guess the something is I haven't gained. I haven't gone back to where I was. Same old 7 pounds I lost before is the same old 7 pounds that I'm down now. Still have my retainer in, so if it looks like I'm talking crazy, that's why. But anyway, no difference there. This morning I get up, I gotta go to the restroom. And I'm debating. I literally woke up like 7 minutes before my alarm was to go off. My alarm goes off at 5:15, right? So I'm debating, like, am I gonna get out? Am I gonna do the walking, all the things? The temperature right now is a little bit lower than it's been. It's only 88 degrees this morning. It's been in the 90s already and super humid. All right, not that 88 is cool, let's be clear. But I'm debating, am I gonna go? Am I gonna, I get all the way to the bathroom. You know how you do that slow walk? And then I realized something's different. You know what was different? There was no hesitancy. Like you know how you stutter step sometimes, something stiff, none of that. There was no hesitancy. I literally just got up and walked right on off to the bathroom as if I was 30 years old. Hold on, now that's a change. That's a good change. And with that, I ended up getting up and going out and exercising. So I said, you know what? Haven't lost weight, but I haven't been consistent either. I haven't been doing it every day. So that's why I wanted to do the check-in with you, having you guys as my accountability partner. Down there on the bottom, you'll see that it's an hour or so. I was timing a portion of my walk just to kind of see how long that took me. But yeah, I feel good about that. I'm getting better. Like, do I feel like I'm 30 years old? No. Is it impossible? I don't think so. But I will say this, I've got my light little weights like this. This is my little 5-pound weight. I'm not even sure what my wrist weights are, but I use them when I'm stretching, doing more so of the Pilates type of moves. Y'all know I have a reformer. So I'm going to get on that. I'm going to make sure I'm getting more limber. I'm going to make sure I'm opening and making my hips more flexible, because that's the kind of injury stuff that older women get. Would I consider myself an older woman? Like, no. My mother actually fell. I didn't tell y'all this, but she fell a few months back and fractured her hip. We were scared to death, like, because a lot of times that's the end. That she had a friend, Doris, who also fractured her hip. She might have even broken it. I'm not sure. And Doris passed from that. So we really, really thought this might be the end. Turns out, thankfully, it wasn't. But you get where I'm going with this. Like that Doris, my mother, there have been others. It's that fall and injury. We don't heal like we used to before. So it's important that we have our bodies limber. It's important that, we do more weights than that. Like that's what I was getting to. Those weights, those are going to be good for me to do my stretching and lengthening and flexibility moves and all of that. But I need to pick up heavier weights, period, just to regain my strength and all of that. So anyway, that's what I'm on today. That's what I'm planning on. And y'all can come with. All right, we're doing a little bit of running around, looking a mess. I had to rinse my hair because rinsed it and conditioned it because I got too sweaty. It was like, as soon as I get still, I don't know what that is. Like when I'm in motion, maybe it's because the air is blowing and I can't feel it as much. But as soon as I got still, I started sweating all up out of my hair and forehead and all that other junk. I was already hot though, to be honest. And I love a good sweat like that. It makes me feel like I'm getting rid of my toxins and stuff. So we actually love that. But now we're just out and about running errands. I stopped off to see my mother. And I'm telling you, when I say if you have a person in senior living, it's really important that you drop in, stop by, and all of that. Double back, do all the things. Because when I first got there, there were 4 employees all hanging out in the office. Like nothing was going on. And they used to have a whiteboard. You take a look and you would see whatever their activities for the day would be. They don't even put the whiteboard up anymore, which is concerning. So I made a big show of getting this printout that they have and looking at it like, what are the activities they're supposed to be doing?
1 mile, turn right to merge
and
onto
then
I-435
after I
East.
did that, okay, boom, now they had activities. Girl, they had Family Feud. Why my mother, they had a question. What was the question? Name something you pick. Cotton! Just as loud as she could, cotton! And everybody just got quiet. And then I couldn't hold it. I just bust out laughing. I was like, why did you gotta say that, really? In front of this mixed audience? But okay. Somebody else said your booty and demanded that the answer be up there. They had a couple of good doozies of questions. One of them was name a car named after an animal. I was like, oh. I was stumped for a second before I could think of a Mustang. But Jaguar was the number one answer. What did they have? Mustang, Jaguar, Impala, Cougar. I'm like, Cougar? What? And then the last answer was Ram. I can't tell you the last time I saw a Cougar. I think Mercury makes Cougar, but I can't even swear by that. But it was a good visit overall. My mother actually gave several number one answers. So if that's good, she gave them a couple of times. She might say, like they said, name something social, and she said
Stay
butterfly.
In the second lane from right.
I don't think butterfly was the number one answer. It could have been, but if it was the number one answer, she said it, and then they were like, okay, that's a good answer. Can we think of another one? Butterfly. So she would say the same answer
second or third lane from
in that kind of way. But it was still a good visit overall. We liked, other than
Go past this light,
going
then
in.
At the next one, turn right.
Other than going in and
At
not
the light,
seeing them.
use the right 2 lanes to merge onto I-435 East.
Other than going in and not seeing them working or talking or mingling, I get it. You want some downtime, but it very much was giving that the employees were just hanging out talking, and the residents were on their own to do whatever. So I think the difference between them doing that and them playing the game was being visited. Don't see a lot of visitors though, unfortunately. Still, no men have moved in. But anyway, I'm feeling good about getting up. It's like 10 something in the morning, and we moving. What's strange too though is that they've got this woman there And it's not even the one that I was correcting. What was that? She was saying, oh, girl. Was it girl? I forgot what it was, but whatever she was saying, I was like, that's not a nice name. It's not a, it was, and whatever it was, I wasn't interested in answering to it. But anyway, I'm not even talking about that woman. There's another one who apparently gets upset and she starts saying racial slurs to some of the employees there. And this isn't the first place that I've heard about that. Like, they get mad and, it's part of the dementia that they're angry and upset and they're up and they'll pop that N word out because a lot of the workers there are black. In this place, not so much. There's one and then the other three, like today that I saw, were white. On every shift, there might be one. But anyway, sure enough, she calls her that. But to the other ones, it's just the B word and other stuff like that. But it's just so weird to me how no matter how far gone their mental capacity is, how much they forget, they don't forget to be a racist. That is just, it tells you that racism is so ingrained in the American fiber that you can forget you can forget your child, you forget your own name, you can forget where you're living, you can forget a multitude of things. But you can't forget to be a racist. I think too, while I'm out, I'm going to take a look at Ross and Marshall's just to kind of see if I see some shoes there, because I don't know, I don't need to buy a whole lot of clothes. I've been buying clothes here lately, but they've been pretty affordable. Oh, that's a cop car? I should slow down a little bit, huh? Yep, you got it, officer. Let me get behind you. Not that that's much safer when you're speeding. That's funny. I don't know how I didn't notice that was a cop. Let everybody else speed right on by and let y'all notice it too. Anywho, looks like they got one of those Dare trucks. I got a Lincoln in front of me and a Lincoln behind me, so I'll probably just sandwich myself in between cops, but that's all right. Anyway, I've been buying a lot of clothes lately, but I think I found my new joint. That half of everything, whatever it's called, half of everything store, I think it is. I like them. I don't know if I mentioned this before, but it's funny. Most of the clothes there have the tags cut out, so you don't know what name brand you actually bought, which makes sense. I guess they don't want it known and clear that, oh yeah, our clothes didn't sell when they were at whatever department store and they're here selling. But then there are some that they can't hide it. Like I saw a lot of Tommy gear there, and that little flag, what is it, red and blue flag? It's always stitched into the clothes, so they couldn't really hide or take that out. People just drive any old kind of way. Insane. Just crossing over 2 and 3 lanes at a time, but that's fine. I'm not going to say I've never done it. But anywho, yeah, they had a lot of name brand stuff there, but what they didn't have was shoes. And I need shoes every year. I do a lot of walking, standing, and all of that. I'm not hard on shoes because I kind of rotate them out a lot. But like the tennis shoes that I like to wear to work, kind of plainish white, go with anything type of shoes, those I need more of with greater frequency. So most of my shoes don't look too terribly bad. You can see from the inside that, yeah, they get wear, but on the outside, not too bad. I will say that here, where I have lotion on my hands and stuff, this part has gotten darker, so I need to work on that. You can tell these are shoes that I've worn quite a bit. So, a simple pair like this, those need to get replaced again. Other shoes I don't wear a whole heck of a lot, little magic erase, and bada boom, we back in business. But baby, these right here, first of all, I need to throw these in the washer with some bleach. I don't even know, I got nerve putting them on the shelf like they ready to wear again. And these, yeah, it's just time to flat out replace these. I think, well, that's not quite coming apart yet, but you see they're all creased up. And so, the everyday type of shoes. I don't too often find good shoes at TJ Maxx though. Purses, yes. Dresses, sure. Shoes, no, not so much. But Ross and Marshalls usually have good shoes. And you know what else? I don't even shop Burlington anymore. Like I'm done with being disappointed with Burlington. I think I'm done with being disappointed with Temu too. I have to order something as part of the reimbursement. But first of all, I don't like the communication with Temu regarding their clothing and stuff or return policy. I don't like that. I don't like the communication, and I don't like that they sent me that funky orange dress for no valid reason other than they could. Like, what? No, that's not what I ordered. And what I ordered, I couldn't get. They were sold out of it, but they wasn't sold out before they took my money. That irritates me. And I don't like exchanging credit for money. No, I want money for money. Dollars for yen. However you want to do it, give me my money. Anywho, we getting out and about, running around, and now it's going on 11 something. It's going on noon. I'm tripping. I'm a whole hour off. Oh my goodness. Have y'all ever seen that street dude? He is embarrassing for my profession. But he'll have a note card and he'll stop people and he's like, can you read this note card?
Read the index card.
The days, unwarring loyalty, exemplified, unreciprocated emotional dependency. Does that say dog? The dogs? Oh my God, I said doors.
The deity? The deity? How the f you say that, bro? Deity? Deity. The deity? I'ma just say the deity, I ain't gonna lie. The promotion? What the f? Cause that don't say promotion. Yeah, I ain't gonna lie, f that card.
Can you read the, okay. A lot of the words on the note card were kind of lengthy. I'll grant you that. But then he had money. He would have like a $10 bill, a 5 or 1, and some coins. How are you approaching these grown folks and they can't count money? Like one of them was $16. I'm making up something. It was like $16.67. One guy didn't know a quarter from a nickel, from like it was 2 quarters. I remember this part. 2 quarters, a dime, a nickel, and 2 pennies. And he was like, what are those all quarters? Yeah. So then he said, he made it another $1 and like 2 cents. Now I get that you might have confused the nickel with the quarter, but how'd you get that dime, sir? How'd you do that? And then other people just flat out just couldn't really count the money. They were like, I don't do money. I do, what's that? Apple Pay. But it's money, much needed. How you live without it, everybody has it. Money, like, okay, granted, I'm not riding around with cash. I do not have cash. I just thought everybody could count money, and he encountered quite a few people who couldn't. Then he showed them an analog clock, you know, the kind that has a 12, 6, 3, and 9 on there, not a digital. Most of the people couldn't tell time either. And I don't even mean it was hard time. Like a couple of them, he was asking them for an o'clock. It could have been 3 o'clock or something. And somebody said something outrageous like 9:45 or what? And I said, okay, maybe they're no, Kimberly, even dyslexia is not gonna. They did not know how to tell time. And as bad as I want to feel about that, and as much as I want to say, dang, we teachers really are the blame, I don't think in general people know how tied our hands are. Like, it just about takes an act of Congress to hold a child back a year. It takes a buttload of paperwork, which we already do paperwork. So paperwork to hold somebody back and to benefit them, not a problem. But all it also takes is for a parent to say, no. So you can do all of that. You can gather all the information, and I've seen it. Teachers have gathered it, written it up, done all the things they were, and the parent was like, no. And it was a no. The child went on to the next grade. That's a problem. Problem number 2, is discipline. Like the discipline in schools. When I say America got some bad tail children, it's more so even that America has a lot of children whose parents don't want them to be held accountable for their actions. And the schools won't go against it because the schools require tax dollars. And because we require tax dollars, we don't go against taxpayers. So, yeah, it's sad. But, oh my goodness, that's so embarrassing for him to be walking them streets like that. And they can't read. Or they can't tell time. And they can't count money. It's money. Like, forgive me for being stuck on that. But, God, no. When my daughter was growing up, I used to tell her all the time, you're going to learn how to count this money. And she was really small. She was small. She was young. But she was of an age where she wanted to go places and buy stuff. She couldn't go without me. But it was still a lesson that needed to be learned because she's going to deal with money all of her life. So I needed her to know how to count money. And I would always tell her, I could probably stop right here and she could finish the sentence for me. But I would tell her, you have to learn how to count your money because if you don't, somebody else will count it for you. It'll be their money when they're counting it, but your money will be taken and they will count it for you. So she absolutely knew how to count money, give back change. How much change should you get? I even saw a thing where it was a printout on a receipt. And let's say the bill came to $25. And if you wanted to tip them 10%, then your tip would be $3.50. If you wanted to tip them 20%, then your tip would be $5.50. I said, how is that on a receipt? And that math is completely wrong. And actually, I said $5.50 on the light side, but it was more of an amount like $7 for a 20% tip on a $25 tab. Y'all, when you go out to restaurants and stuff, check your receipt. Like a lot of times you're not thinking, you're just talking to someone. Oh yeah, we had a great time. It was wonderful. Oh, what does the receipt say? What says that? And you just sign off and do it. And I think that's what they're banking on. I was like, 10% of $25 is $2.50 last time I checked. And if I wanted to know what 20% was to give that much of a tip, I would double the $2.50 and come up with $5. Not the $7, because it was really a higher amount. I shaved it down to that $5.50, but it was definitely a higher amount. And I said, God dog, if this ain't it in my face, if you can't count your money, someone will count it for you. Not to mention, they already had a gratuity in there. But yeah, that was a valid lesson. Like, you got to be kidding me. Y'all actually printed that out for the world to see. That's nervy. Oh, it's an old lady driving that car. Get it, girl. Go on and get it, girl. With your old self. I am not familiar with that. It's a Toyota, what? CHR? I think that's what those are. Talking about somebody can't read. I can't read because I can't see it very well. Like the sun is hitting it too hard. I think it was a CH and an R on there. I swear I can read, America. I swear I can. I can read. Y'all know what? The more I see married couples, the less I become convinced that I'm going to be a part of one again. It's so discouraging to see how so many of them talk to each other. And I saw one person, I saw several couples, which, ain't nobody got a job no more. But I saw several couples. Almost every time I saw them, the husband had the cart, or the husband was on his cell phone next to the cart, or he was just in some other way, not really engaged, and the woman was doing all the shopping and picking and getting, and he was just kind of there. Maybe he was just waiting to pay, but you give me a credit card for that. You can bring it in from the car for that. It was just totally disengaged, not talking with each other. I saw mothers with their teenagers talking with each other, engaging, asking questions, but not the married couples. Then what put the icing on the cake, there was a woman, she said she was looking for a protein drink. And she was waiting. Actually, her husband said, "What are you getting now?" Already a negative kind of tone to it. "What are you getting now?" So she was standing there waiting. There was a lady giving out samples, very delicious samples. It was called True Fruit. It's like a frozen strawberry wrapped in chocolate. I've had the kind that were dried fruit, good, but that frozen, even better. Beside the point though. So she's waiting for the lady, and she was like, "Oh, I'm waiting to ask her for the protein drink." And he looks at me and he looks at her, and he, like he's looking around for, I guess, a sympathetic face. I'm just looking at him because this white folk business, this not my business. So, I'm just blank face looking. He looked at me, looked around, like I said, at the other lady. And so anyway, the woman who worked there said, "Oh, protein drinks, yeah, they're usually up front and to the right." He said, "Same thing I already told you. All right, now can we move on?" Like, it was just a real snap of a voice. And so the lady said, "Yeah, but like I said, these are refrigerated only. It's a yogurt kind of protein drink." I don't know what she was talking about. But anyway, she said, "Like I told you, this is refrigerated only. And I've been looking in the refrigerator section." And he said, "You probably didn't look good enough." Well, I mean, he was right there too. He could have helped her look. That was one. But for two, I couldn't understand why he was talking to her like that. And so when she said it's in the refrigerator section, the lady who worked there said, "Oh, okay. So yeah, it wouldn't be up front." He then changed his whole tone and said, "Well, where would we find it? Where is it?" And I thought, you talk nicer to an utter and complete stranger than you do to your wife. Like, that's strange to me. I'll give you one better. When I was married, it was something I was looking for regarding a car, and I couldn't find it. And my ex said something like, "Duh, it's here," or "Duh." Like, I can't remember what all he said, but it had something to do with duh. It started with duh. And so I just kind of stopped everything I was doing, moved along, and waited for him to realize that nothing is happening until that duh gets addressed. Like, I'm not moving, I'm not doing anything until that duh gets addressed. Like, he said it as if we were just gonna keep on conversing, everything would keep going. And I gently asked him, mind you, I mean, it had to be gentle because usually when I'm pissed, my voice gets very soft. So I gently asked him, is that your plan for this marriage? Is it your thinking that, oh, because he hadn't talked to me the whole time we were dating, and we were probably into the marriage like maybe 2 years-ish, I would say. And I said, is that your plan for when we're married, that you're going to talk to me that way, and what, I either take it or I talk to you like that? Because you're missing one other option, and that's, I'll just leave. I said, I'm not going to be a part of a marriage like this. From there, when I tell you the temperature of all of that dropped, the understanding was immediate. He never spoke to me like that again. I'm sure he had those thoughts. I had those thoughts. I would like to snap too. But there's just a thing called respect. You don't do that to your mate and then treat other people like that. Was just so,
In my stomach there's a pain. You walk in my direction, I go the other way. I start to stutter when I speak. Trying to stand but my knees go weak. What's happening to me? In the dark, can you tell me what it means? I lay my head on my pillow, staring out the window, trying to stop for a sign. The reason why you always on my mind.
Oh wow, they're whipping out boots already?
I scribble X and O's in my notebook, checking how my hair and my nails look. I feel myself in the zone when you know not home.
And buy that $30 shoe.
Should I send an email at home? You're the number one.
You know what? I'm starting to feel like I need to get with the times. That $25 polka dot shoe I got at Walmart, I was complaining about that being too high a price point for Walmart, especially when I can get a $20 shoe and stuff at Marshalls and TJ Maxx, but I don't think that's the case anymore. Like, look at this. Simple pair of sandals. Why is that $35?
I'm not gonna run now. Just gonna stand here and sleep.
I didn't come to look at clothes, but since we're here and they're right there, we might as well take a quick little looky-loo.
Both of those stores was a bust.
But that's all right. Live to shop another day, right? I honestly think, though, a huge part of my problem is I've been to that store, that half off of everything store. Because I'm just looking like, oh, I know I saw something like this. I saw that. I saw these. I saw those. $2.99, $4.99. It's just a matter of digging and looking. And did I tell y'all, I actually got. I had started shopping and just put stuff in my cart. And then I was like, I don't feel like pushing these carts around because some of the aisles were narrow. A lot of people were in the aisles, in the way. I was like, I don't feel like pushing this cart around. Well, I go back to my cart and my stuff was gone. And so I asked my friend, I was like, you think maybe they thought somebody didn't want this? She said, girl, the store just opened up. No, they knew what they were doing. They took your stuff. We're back from Costco now. I only got like 4 things. You know how you just look at a receipt and you're like, be wrong somewhere. Let something be a little extra. No, I got 4 things, all chicken, I guess. But I got chicken sausage, some wings, and I picked up some eggs. I also got some ice cream, this Haagen-Dazs. It was a little bit cheaper. I don't know who opened it. I don't. I'm just warming up some of my bean salad and salmon. Hot chat, 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 chat. Oh my gosh, I need somebody to save me from myself. A simple look, never basic.